Yes, and so I was talking about the potential guys now that you have a quarterback, because, well, the quarterback helps stabilize the class, helps stabilize the recruiting class, because that's your primary player recruiter. Because it's important to note that during a dead period, when coaches can't talk to recruits, who's the guy that can? Your quarterback. That's usually the guy that's taking that initiative to help build it. I was talking about guys that could potentially follow Michael Hawkins. And I said the easy answer is
Hmm.
Devon Mitchell if the reclassification officially hits. But even if it doesn't hit for 2024, I still think he could land in the class in 2025. But I mentioned Zena Yumi Oazulu. And like I was telling you the other day, I was talking to
Mm-hmm.
somebody else who, they kind of know these situations. He said he wouldn't feel too confident about it. But Zena is a guy, he's friends with Michael Hawkins. And, his brother, I get it, plays at Texas. But, like I told you the other day, I don't think he has a better chance of seeing the field at Texas than he would Oklahoma, just because that Texas offensive line, with all the 5 stars that they had, I mean, unless somebody gets hurt, I just don't think the opportunity for him will be there. And so I think a guy like Zena, who has 30 offers and is being recruited by some of the most elite teams in the country, a top 100 player, I think could be a guy that could follow Michael Hawkins to the University of Oklahoma. So, what are your thoughts here? Who do you think could follow Michael Hawkins, and do you think Zena could be one of those guys?
So, like you mentioned, the easy one is Devon Mitchell. That's kind of I think that's a given, and I can expect that to come down the line within. I guess as once he reclassifies, I sense that the commitment comes down the line. I don't see him committing before reclassifying, but I could easily be wrong. As far as other players, I know that Michael had made mention of players that he's going to be recruiting that he would like to have. He mentioned David Stone. So for everybody that's wondering about Stoney, Hawkins has been trying to recruit him to come here as well with them, and he wants him to come. I think the first one, though, honestly, if anybody is going to commit first, I think it's going to be Caden Durham. I think it's going to be him because the Duncanville running back, he's been popping up a lot lately. I've been following him on Twitter, and he does a lot of retweeting of Oklahoma's content, focused content around Oklahoma. We gave him a crystal ball, and if I'm correct, he retweeted that, you know, and so I can totally see him as the track player being the first one to go ahead and commit after Hawkins. And then for me, what I want to see is to start seeing these defensive players come down the line. But the other influence from Hawkins I can see is Bryant Westco. We know Westco has been getting a lot of crystal balls over the last probably like last 2 months. I think since January he's gotten at least
And
one
he's a
crystal
5 star now.
ball or prediction. Yeah, he's gotten at least a prediction or a future cast or a crystal ball since January, and I can totally see him following Hawkins. But that's kind of that was basically the three that he made mention. Oh yeah, Max Anderson was the fourth person that Hawkins mentioned that he is heavily recruiting, and so if he's recruiting them, I think there's a good chance we're going to land him now that he is committed and he's all in Oklahoma. I sense that he's going to be doing a lot of recruiting going forward.
I will say this. I will say this. Right now, Max Anderson currently holds crystal ball to Michigan. I don't think that sticks because Michigan just landed Andrew Sprague, but I will say this.
Killing it.
I know Michael Hawkins has been recruiting guys to Oklahoma for a while because I just did an interview with somebody last night who accidentally slipped up with the Michael Hawkins commitment. So I had to push that interview till Monday to be released because, I can't put that out on yesterday when I wanted to. So,
I'm wondering about Stacey Gage now too. He's one that I'm really curious about. Um,
so the running
and
back
I,
position's really, I think, gotten interesting now that James Peoples is not a take because James Peoples was a top 100 guy. So I'm kind of wondering, does Jarrett Gibson potentially get that offer since he has been pretty much advocating on social media to get that offer from DeMarco Murray? But also, you know, what does it look like with some of these new offers that Oklahoma's gotten?
um, trying to figure out how to say this. Um, the running back room is probably our deepest. Let me just put it that way. We have a substantial amount of running backs, not only in the room today, but on the recruiting trail. I mean, right now it's looking like we're going to take what, 3 running backs. I mean, I could see us taking 4. I think it would make sense to take 4.
Which is probably why you lost a guy like Caden Knighton in 2025.
Which makes sense, yeah, because that means at a certain
Yes.
point you got to recognize that unless you're an elite 5-star running back, you might not take nobody's position in this year's class. I mean, Gage, I think Stacey Gage can be special. In watching him play, not only at running back, he can catch. I think he has some special tools. Then adding Caden Durham, who's fast. So you get yourself another basically Gavin Sawchuk coming in there. And then even looking at the players we have on roster with like Braylon Colgrove, the PWO that we got that had knee surgery back in like September. And then he ran like a 10-4-1 or 4-2 40, like a 100. He ate on that. And I remember he shot it to me when it happened. I'm just like, my boy, that is 10-4-1 is what he 22 weeks after surgery. He ran a 10-4-1 in track.
Yeah,
Bananas.
and there's a comment down here talking about Nathaniel Frazier. That's going to be the running back from Miter Day. So, I mean, it would be a great take for Oklahoma, but I'm going to be honest. Anytime Oklahoma's in a battle with USC and Oregon for a Miter Day kid, I am not betting any dollars on it, because there's going to be another team that really gets into Miter Day, and it's going to be Colorado. So I don't think getting a kid like that is going to necessarily be as easy of a take as it is for Oklahoma to go out there and get a Caden Durham, a Stacey Gage, an Xavier Robinson, guys like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe,
Right.
I think you have a better chance at landing Jarrett Gibson than you do Nathaniel Frazier.
Yeah, I can totally see that. And honestly, I wish we would have went ahead and went after Jared Gibson just to take him away from Texas. That would have been nice.
I think you still could. I really do. I mean, the kid
won't.
seems to want the offer bad enough.
We give him the offer, he's probably going to come here. I think that's the reason why they're holding off on it, because they don't want anybody to fully commit yet. But to me, it's like, why not just go ahead and do it? Like, I totally get it, but go ahead. Take a bigger class.
Because can you imagine how like annoying Sooner Nation would be to Texas fans if we landed their 5-star running back that they wanted, that they were crystal balled to land from Steve Wiltfong?
I'm just saying. Yeah, right, exactly. That would be, man, people would be pissed. I want it. There's a level of petty in me that exists that I don't let come out very often. But in this circumstance, this is that one moment where I would not mind being super petty. I just wouldn't want to lose out on any of the other running backs. Like, I really like Caden Durham. I think that he's going to be very special running back. Of course, Xavier Robinson Zay is one that I want because I like his size. Like his size and stature, and I think that he can be special with the right coaching. And I think DeMarco Murray can do it. And so we have a lot of offers and potentials that are crystal ball to us. I'm ready for these floodgates to open up. Let me just put it like that.